Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today I wanted to do one full video where I'm going to show you how to sync up Active Directory objects like users and groups to Azure AD. Now this is something that is covered in multiple Azure certifications, especially if you're studying for the AZ 104, you definitely need this setup to do some testing. And a lot of times you don't, you really don't have a on-prem Active Directory to work with. So in this lab, what we're going to do, we're going to install uh, the Windows Active Directory services in one of the virtual machines on Azure, and we're going to use that to simulate the local on-prem environment, and then we're going to create a new Azure Active Directory and then see how to sync up our users from the local Active Directory back to the Azure AD. So you will have everything that you need to do more things than what I'm going to show in this lab, because you will have a connection and you will be able to see and test all the synchronization of your user accounts. Before I start, really, so this is what kind of a rough outline of our goal for today. We're gonna simulate an on-prem environment, okay, by deploying a Windows server and then installing the Active Directory services in this Windows server. And in this one, we're going to create a couple of users, an admin user for the sync admin, and we'll create a test group. Once we do that, we're going to create a new Azure Active Directory, and that is what I recommend. You can use the default Active Directory if you have an Azure account, the default one, but I would not recommend that one. Just create a sync user and assign the global admin role to the user, and you should be good. Once this is done, we'll go back to this server, we install the Azure AD Connect, and we will configure the configuration. And over here again, the sync admin, in ideally in a production environment you should provide this person enterprise admin role, but for our purposes no special user role is required. So we'll try to use the minimum configuration as possible to make this lab as easy and as quick as possible for you, so you get to where you need to be and start playing with the synchronization. All right, so a couple more things, just points to remember. This synchronization is one way user management. So your users that you are going to create in your on-prem, that is in the Windows Active Directory, they will be synced up onto the Azure AD. But if you create some users and you want to manage it, then you still have to go to Azure AD and manage them. So those user accounts, they're not going to come back to your Windows or on-prem, and then you will see them on your on-prem environment. It's not going to happen. So it's one way. The other thing to remember, once you have the sync up, it's only allowed for one Azure AD. So it's not that you have three different Azure AD instances and you can sync up your user account with all three of them. It's not going to happen. So it's one way user management and only one Azure AD to sync up your account. Okay, so let's get to the lab. So to do the lab, you will need an active Azure account. If you do not have one, please just sign up for one free Azure account and get started with the lab. So the first thing that we need to do, we need to deploy a virtual machine. There are many ways to do it. I'm just going to create a resource, and this over here under the popular section, I'm just going to select Windows Server 2016. You can use any other version. 2019 is also fine. I'm going to create a resource group. I'm going to say test local AD group. Okay, so that is the name that I'm going to use. I'm going to say okay. Virtual machine name uh, test local AD. That name is also available. Uh, let's just deploy it to EastWest, see if we can or not. And then it has selected the Windows Server 2016, which is fine. Size DS2V2 with 2 virtual cores and 7 gigs of memory is good. I'm okay with that. You can bump up if you like. And then for the administrator username and password, I'm just going to use a secure username and password. I forgot, hold on. Okay, the password they match, so that's good. I'm going to keep the RDP port open, and it really I don't have to configure too much. I just to reduce the cost just a little, I'm going to use the standard SSD for the deployment. You can stick to premium, it doesn't matter. And I don't need a data disk. Networking, I'm going to keep all the default options. And over here, boot diagnostic, I really don't need this feature. So if you want it, it's gonna you need a storage account configuration. So I'm just gonna disable this one for now. Everything else I'm gonna keep it default. Advanced, I don't need anything additional. Tags, I don't need anything. If you need, you can add some tags. I'm gonna click on the review, and the validation looks like it's successful, and it's gonna cost me about 25 cents an hour. So I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna click the create button. So it should create the virtual machine, and then from this pane you should be able to see the deployment and what is going on. Usually all the resources that a virtual machine is finally dependent on, like the virtual machine, the NSG's IP address, virtual network card, anything like that, they usually gets deployed first before you can deploy the actual virtual machine, right? If you see NSG, it says okay, that means that's already available. IP address is available now. VNet is now available. Network interfaces is now available, and finally, the virtual machine, it's gonna use all of these other additional resources, and you will have it ready in few minutes. Now, you can look at the progress in here. You can also look at from this notification bar and look at what is going on. You can even go to the resource group, and inside the resource group under deployments, it usually says what is going on. Inside this, it says one deploying. Again, you can click back on that one. It will take you back to this view, and where you can click on this again, and now look at that. So it says deployment is complete. So it's just got completed. So you can click on this blue icon or this one, doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna click on this one to go to that virtual machine that we just created, okay? And I want to make sure that is running. I want to make sure that I have the right I have a public IP address, and this is the Windows Server 2016 data center. Okay, so everything looks good. So at this time, what we need to do, we need, this is just a Windows Server. We need the Active Directory installation. So to connect, since I'm on a laptop, I'm just going to use the RDP file for this. So just click on it, and it just asks you to download. So click on the download button here, and if you have a virus scanner, it will scan for the file. I have a McAfee web advisor that's scanning for the file. As soon as the scanning is done, yeah, looks like I don't even have to do that. So just click on the downloaded file, and click on connect. And if you look at this, this is taking my Windows local username. So this is not what you want to use. It's using the Microsoft account. So click on the more choices and use a different account, and provide the username and password that you have created when you have deployed the virtual machine. Okay, so hopefully I remembered that one. I hit OK, and now it's asking for the whether a certificate, if I trust the certificate from the authority, and I'm gonna say yes, and it should log me inside the virtual machine that I have just deployed on Azure. So again, I'm logging in as the student user, and as soon as we log in, it's a Windows Server, so Windows Server Management Console, it will start up, and it will take probably a minute or so to load up all the modules and everything for you. Once that is available, we can start working on it and setting this Windows Server uh, to to uh, to have all the Active Directory services installed, and we'll go from there. So just give it a second. Here I'm gonna just say yes for the network discoverability, and over here you can see the IP address. It's usually shows up over here. That's nice. And usually you will see some more stuff that's loading up. Yeah, the server manager. So just be patient for a minute or so and let it load. Once it's loaded, you can we're gonna install the Active Directory domain services in this particular computer. So just remember what you're looking at. This machine is really running on Azure. So at this time you can click, and if you click too early, if all of the services are not loaded yet, it will say server manager is collecting inventory data. The wizard will be available after data collection finishes. Just say yes, and you'll probably see some more tiles in here. Once that's done, okay, I see two tiles. Yeah, I have got three tiles now. Then I'm gonna try it one more time. Say add roles and features. Now see, I didn't get that warning anymore. So now it says yeah, you can do that. So again, so what I did, once I have everything available, I'm gonna click on add roles and features. Okay, before, well, let's just do that. One thing I usually also ask you to do, go to the local server first, because before I forget, I should do that. We will use this machine to connect to internet, and to be able to connect and do our stuff, we want to disable this IE enhanced security configuration. Okay, this is right over here. So this says on, just click on it and turn both administrators and users, turn it just off and hit OK. Okay, so this is out of the way. I'm going to come back to the dashboard again, click on add roles, and this particular page you don't have to do anything before you begin. Just hit next. We really want the role based or feature based installation. That is what we're going to do. So select that one, hit next, and it's asking the server. Our server is already selected, so I don't have to do anything. Hit next. Then the only thing that we need is the second one from the top, is the Active Directory domain services. So click on that one, and it's going to automatically select anything else that that particular role requires. So all of that is here already selected. Just click on add features. So that's all there. Now the next thing, hit next. In this features panel, you don't have to do anything. Hit next. This ADDS will work on it, don't have to do anything. Hit next, and here again it says to install the following role service or features on selected server, click install. So just click on install. Just note that as soon as the installation is done, it will restart the machine, so you will lose this connection. At this time you will just have to use the RDP to get back in. Okay, so let's just click on this one and see if the restart is required at this stage or the follow-up stage that we're going to do. Okay, so just I'm going to pause the video for a second. As soon as this installation is done, we'll come back and restart. So just be patient for a second. All right, we are back, and let's look at that. It says the feature installation, and it's all done. And this blue bar is full. It says 100% right here. And at this time, we didn't have to do any restart yet. So the next thing over here that we need to do, don't just close it yet. Just let's finish and promote the server to a domain controller. Okay. So I'm just going to click on this one, and this is where once this is done, it's probably going to restart your machine. Okay, and you're going to lose your connection to the server. Just RDP back in. So in this one, the first thing that you need here, the deployment configuration, you need to select the deployment operation. I don't have any domain controller, existing domain or existing forest. So I'm going to start with a new forest, and I'm just going to call it ebasu.com. You can really use anything you like over here. Hit next, and and in the next page, domain name system server. I don't really need this DNS server right now. The global catalog is good, and the forest functional level and domain functional level, you don't need to change anything, you just keep, and then just provide a password over here. Okay, so what we can do next, just hit next once you have that done, and let's see, it should pick up the NetBIOS domain name as abashu because I have provided the initial forest as abashu.com. Yeah, we got it. And that's all. You don't know, no additional configuration is needed on this page. Hit next, and let's see, so where are we? Okay, so this next page is the paths, and I'm just gonna with the default path for database folder, log files and folders, and sysvol folder, so nothing, no changes, configuration is required. Hit next, and now review option is really just reviewing the options that we have configured so far. Just review it if you like. If you want to look at the script, you can click on the view script. I'm just going to click on next, and again it's doing the prerequisite check real quick, and as soon as the check is done, we should be able to hit, and it says all prerequisite checks passed successfully, click install. So we are ready to install this. It's all green, so hit install, and over here uh, it will take probably a few minutes. I'm going to pause the video, but just remember, once as it's going on, as the installation is done, it needs a reboot, so you are going to lose the connection and suddenly we'll say the server is gone. Don't panic, and you can kind of see what is going on if you're watching. I'm going to probably pause the video. It will tell you what is going on, what it will tell you all the notification, and it's well, this is it's already done, so it's just said you're about to be signed out, so we didn't even have to pause the video. Okay, so this is all good, so I can just close this one, and it says restarting and it's gone. Okay, so now that server is rebooting at the moment. So if I go back to our little slide over here, so we have done up to this point. So we have deployed the Windows Server, we have installed the Active Directory and configured the domain services. As soon as it boots up, we're gonna finish up this one, users and groups, and we're gonna create some dummy user and test group. Okay, so let's just go back to over here, and just get the RDP file one more time and try to reconnect. Hopefully the machine is restarted by now. It's pretty quick when it gets restarted. Usually if you don't have a whole lot, it will get restarted. It's probably not restarted yet. It's still trying to connect to that particular machine, and now probably it found that it's now connected. So alright, so now it's asking for the certificate again. I trust this certificate, so let's just log back in, and we are again back to the Windows Server machine where we have the active services, uh, Active Directory roles and services that are configured. And the next thing that we are gonna do, as soon as we are in, we will create a few users and a test group, and we should be ready to move on to the Azure AD part. Okay, we are still not there yet to install the Azure AD Connect. So before we do that, we have to do some configuration on the Azure Active Directory side. So just wait for the group policy client. Just give it a second, and while this is, well, let's just wait. Let's not go ahead of ourselves. What I'll do, I'll just pause the video for a second. As soon as this policy is enabled and I have the server console, I'll restart the video. Okay, everyone, we are back. Now we are in the server. The group policy update actually took almost 4 or 5 minutes. So just be patient and wait for the group policy to take in effect. So now I'm back in the server, and this time I have all the AD active directory AD role that's all available to me. What we need to do, I'm gonna go to the tools, and from here you see the fifth one is the active directory users and computers. I'm going to click on that one, and that one should open up this active directory users and computers, this window. And here I'm going to click on the domain name that we have created, click on users, and in here I'm just going to create a couple of users. So the first username, call it test1. Okay, I'm going to use the test one as well for the logon name, and hit next. Here what I'll do, I want these two things just for convenience. In a production environment you don't want that, but for our purposes I'm just going to use user cannot change password, and password never expires. Okay. Okay, so I got first user, hit next and finish. So here's the user that's available. I'm going to create another user, just going to call it test2, and again do test2, and over here do the same thing and call it. Okay, so this is my second user. The third user that I'm going to create, I'm just going to call it syncadmin. In a production environment you want to give this user enterprise admin role, but for this one I don't need to do any, I don't need to worry about anything. So just syncadmin is good. Let's see, what am I doing? Okay, syncadmin, syncadmin, syncadmin. Okay, just make sure that I'm writing it right. Syncadmin, 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 syncadmin. Okay, looks good. So next, again, do the same thing, and all right. So next, finish. So we got three users. I have a sync admin user and two test users, and the other thing that I want to do a group, and here's the another symbol for group creation, and I'm just gonna call it uh, test group, and it's a security group, global, and everything looks good. Just hit OK, and here is your group. Okay, so I think that's all I need to do with this machine at this time. So I'm gonna close this and just minimize that one. Okay, and what I'll do, I'll come back over here. So let's see what we have done. So we have now completed all three steps in here. So the next thing, that we need an active directory where we want to synchronize the user that we created to some active directory, right? So let's come back over here. The first thing I want to do is go to the active directory. If you don't see this active directory already showing up in your commonly used services, just search for the active directory in the search bar, and it usually shows up. So just click on that one. In this one, what I would like you to do is not use your default active directory where you have your subscription and everything. Just click on create a new tenant and get uh, an instance of the Azure Active Directory. Okay, then hit configuration, and here configuration name. So some name, initial domain name. Okay, something initial domain name, and it's gonna be on Microsoft.com, country region United States. It's fine, and then hit review and create, and validation is successful, and then hit create. Okay, so that is going to create another instance of Active Directory which is completely separate from your default installation. I don't want to mess with the default. You can use the default, but I personally recommend that you create an instance of Active Directory and work with that one. So it usually takes just about a minute or so to get the directory available to you. So just be patient. You don't have to be patient for too long. It only this also takes telling you that tenant creation is in progress. This will take a few minutes, but it's usually really few minutes. So let me just pause the video here for a second, and as soon as this is done, we'll restart. Alright, the directory is now available and it says tenant creation was successful. Click here to navigate to your tenant. So there are multiple ways to get to that one. You can also click on this button, but sometimes it is not showing. You may need to re-log into your account. Okay, so for now what I'll do, I'm just gonna click on this link right here. Click here to navigate to your new tenant, and it opens up a new tab and it logs me in that new tenant. How do you know that you're in the new tenant? First of all, here it says the Basu Security Consulting, right? Over here it was AZ Lab, and if you look at it, this is the default directory. It says clearly over here, and if I go to home, Active Directory on this page, this is the default directory. So I do not want to work in the default directory. I want to work in the new directory that we created, the Basu security call sun. I should have renamed it properly, but yeah, for you, rename it properly. Okay, so the name is not important in our case, so we'll just go. What we'll do in here, if you go to the user, what you see that you have only one user, and that is the user who is the global admin. uh, that's the only user. Okay, this user doesn't have too much, not even a subscription, but this is the only user that you have. So in this one I'm going to create another user. Okay, and I'm just going to call it create user, and I'm going to call it sync, and same name sync. And what I'll do, I'm gonna click on the show password, copy the password. I'm gonna come over here and save the password for later use. From roles, we need this user to have a global admin role. Okay, that is important. Don't miss this step. And do assign the global admin role, and that's all you need. And then hit create. So that user is now available. You can click on the username, and I need the full name. Okay, plus like the full thing, including the basuconsulting.onmicrosoft.com. So I'm just gonna copy the whole thing, go back to my notepad, and save this information for that particular user for which I just assigned the global admin. So what you want to do next is in here, let's just close, we'll just keep this here. You can go back to this window. This is inside the Windows server where we have installed the Active Directory. Let's just go to the portal from here. Okay, so from here, we'll open up the Internet Explorer, and recommender setting is fine. I'm just gonna go to portal.azure.com, and it usually asks you to download the Azure Portal app. Don't worry about that one, just click on continue to Azure Portal, and over here what we'll do, I'm gonna paste the username, hit next, and then I'm gonna provide I need the default password, so I'm gonna go back to my notepad. Where is it? Copy that default password. Okay, come back to my Windows server where I'm trying to log in. So this is the default password. So if I try to log in, it's going to ask me to update the password. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, so I got the password here uh, reset. So I'm just logging in. Stay sign in. No, I don't need to stay log in. So that's it. Just say maybe later, and that's all I needed. So all I needed to do here is just change my username. Okay, I mean the default password. Okay, so that's done. So let's quickly come back to our PowerPoint slide. So we have done this already. Now we have created Azure user. We created the sync user. We assigned the global admin role to that one. So now we are ready to install the Azure AD. So we can still stay in this particular machine, in the virtual machine. So over here, what I want you to go back and just search in Google, download or Bing, whatever, download Azure AD Connect. Okay, so that's what I need. And let's see. So here's the link: download Microsoft Azure Active Directory Connect. So I'm going to click on that one. So in here, this is the link: Microsoft Azure Active Directory Connect. I'm going to click on download. You can save it if you like. I'm just gonna run it, so it will download and start the installation process immediately. And it's just great, ready for installation. So I have this common Windows installation wizard that is familiar to everyone, now available, and now the Azure AD Connect is showing up. And let's see what happens next here. So here's the welcome page. It's telling you some information. Run the installation tool on the server where the synchronization service component will be installed. Okay, so this is where we're doing, and then just agree to the license terms and privacy notice. Hit continue, and here it's telling you if you want to use the express setting. Okay, express setting. If you have a single Windows Server's Active Directory forest, is going to do the following thing: configure synchronization of identities in the current AD forest of ABASU. Configure password has synchronization. So note, this is the default synchronization type between your Windows AD and the Azure AD. From on-prem AD to Azure AD, start an initial synchronization, synchronize all attributes, enable auto upgrade. For us, just click on use express setting. It's just going to give you more options just so that you know what you can configure. So over here, enter your Azure AD global administrator credentials. So here again, what I'll do, I'll go back over here. So this is the global admin we created in that instance of AD that we're going to use. So I'm going to copy that one, paste it over here, and provide the password. Now, if you do not have global admin and you hit next, it will not let you go. It will say, hey, give me somebody who has the global admin privileges. So at this time, if you for some reason forgot to do that, you can come back and also go back to your Active Directory and make that person admin. And here, if you look over here in that question mark, provide the credential of an enterprise administrator for your Active Directory. So, but note that we have not really created any enterprise admin for a production environment. This is what is recommended. For us, we can just use Ibasu and then the sync admin user that we have created should be enough. I'm just going to provide that password for him and hit next. And so this one is really saying that the provided user is not a member of the enterprise admin group. So we might just need that account. Let me see. Enter the Active Directory domain services enterprise admin credential. Yeah, this one may need that account. Let me come back over here one more time. Use express settings, we have provided that one. uh, and over here enter directory domain services enterprise admin credentials. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna go back over here and look for the users. So this is my users. Let's just come over here, go to your users and computers, and go for that, look for the user and look for the role member of, and here add. Let's see, enter check name enterprise admins and hit OK and hit OK and apply. So let's see, so that user now should be part of the enterprise admin group. Okay, so let's come back over here. Make sure that I have everything right. Okay, then let's try it out. Okay, so now let's see what's happened. Now it let, so for that one you do need the enterprise admin, it looks like. So go ahead and do what I just did. And at this time, you are on the Azure AD sign-in page. In this saying, use on-prem credential for Azure AD sign-in, UPN suffix should match one of the verified custom domains. So we don't have the verified custom domains, so don't worry about this one, and just uh, click on this button and say continue without matching all UPN suffixes to verified domains. Okay, we are not doing that because we have not added any verified domains. Just hit next to install, and at this time it says it's ready to configure. Once you click install, we will do the following: install the synchronization engine, configure Azure AD connector, configure abasu.com connector, enable password has, enable auto upgrade, and configure synchronization services on the computer. So what I just did, I think I may have just used the express setting. So before I do anything, just let me go back. Yeah, so what happened here, so I said use express setting, should we had to go through and create that enterprise user. So if you want to customize, we should have clicked on the customize button, and it will give all these options to us. It's not too much different than the express setting. And this one, only thing you really need to select is specify. Really don't need to select anything here. Okay, just hit install, and it will start installation of things that it needs. It's just going to use the Microsoft SQL Server that's already installed here, and it just say no existing synchronization service was found on this computer. The Azure AD Connect synchronization service will be installed. So it will almost do the same thing as of the express setting. I believe if you go through the custom setting, you probably would not have to do that upgrade of the user account to enterprise admin. So it just takes a minute. So you can go either by the express setting or the one that I'm going through right now to the custom installation, and you should be able to get to the point where we will be in a few moments. Okay, so I'm just gonna pause the video for 1 second. As soon as this has made some progress, we'll come back, and oh, it's already there. So right here, the next thing that you have to select is what kind of user signing method that you need. For this lab, we're going to use the password hash synchronization, and if you click on it, this option allows your users to sign in to the cloud using the same password that they use on-prem, and password hash synchronization does not store or send clear text password. So your password hashes will be there, will be available both on the cloud and on-prem, but the authentication will be happening on the cloud. If you're going to go with the pass-through authentication, the authentication will happen on-prem, and the hash will not be stored. So pay some attention to this, read through this, and what you can do, play with the other options as well. For this one, we're just going to use the password hash synchronization, and again, this is a default for the express setting as well. If you want, you can enable the sign on. We don't need this feature right now, so I'm just going to click on next. Here again, I'm going to provide the password of the sync account, and next it's going to most likely ask the local account on this virtual machine. It didn't even ask. So in this page, directory type, hit the add directory, and here is asking whether you want to create a new account or use existing account. And again, this is saying that it's recommended that you use the enterprise admin. Now we have already created one, so I'm just going to use the account that we have created and provide the password. Okay, and then hit OK if the password is fine. So we can move to the next page. It says interpret account is not allowed. So now this is saying the you cannot use the enterprise or domain administrator account. You cannot do that. So what we'll do, we'll go back over here, and let's just do another sync account. I'm just gonna call it sync local, sync local local. I hope I have it right. Yeah. So okay, I got sync local one more time, and I'm just gonna do the same thing and provide a password. Okay, so let's see, finish. So this is another sync local account that is not enterprise admin. So let's just use that one instead. So go to previous and hit next, and in here add directory, and here instead of sync admin we're just going to use sync local. So we got that one, hit OK. So this time it says this configure directory, it's a green tick mark, that means it's good. So you can move to the next phase. So click on next, and there we go. Azure AD sign in configuration. Again, just click on the continue without matching all of the UPN suffixes to verified domains. Hit next, and over here sync all domains and OUs. You can click that button. Okay, select this one maybe. Yeah. So in this one, really, we don't need to sync up all those things. You can, but we really have created some users and groups to sync them up. You can only select that one. You can also select all of them, but for now we don't need any of that stuff. So we're just gonna select the users in here, hit next, and over here I do not need to do anything, and hit next, and hit next in here. And again, optional features password has password write back is a feature when if somebody changes the password and it will be resynced, even like if you create an user, um, then if they change the password it will be automatically write back to the on-prem directory, even when they change the password using the active AD, it will be synced back to the on-prem. So you can enable that one if you like at this time. You can come back and do it later as well. So that's, I think, all we need, and just hit next. And now it's saying ready to configure. And once you click again, it's just kind of giving you some itemized lists what they're gonna do, just to pay some attention and read through it. And it's going to start the synchronization process when configuration completes. All of that is good. We are not doing anything, just hit on install. And it's now configuring, and it will start up the sync service. So at this time, what I like to do is click on the start icon, and recently added, you see the third option called synchronization service. I would like to open that up and leave this window on while this process is going on. Okay, so let's give it a minute or so to sync up, connect to the Azure AD that we have created. And and if you read through this, it is just doing one step at a time. Now, right now, we configure something AAD, updating synchronization rules, and it doesn't really take that long unless you have like thousands of users maybe, but for the lab environment it should not take too long for the configuration to happen. And right now, and in over here, I still don't see any values or anything like that, right? So this is all empty right now. Here we enable the password write back, so that just happened, and it's installing the Azure AD Connect Health agent for synchronization. So that agent is also important. That agent keep tracks of the health of your Azure AD Connect, uh, and reports back to you whether if it sees any kind of problem. So it's almost at the end of the configuration. We should have it ready like momentarily. So still over here, I do not see any entries. So I have no connection status, synchronization statistics. Nothing is populated over here just yet. So what happened here? So this is still going on. So I'll just give it one more minute, and hopefully that should be enough for the configuration to happen. So let me just minimize this, and as if it takes long, I'm just going to pause the video for a second again. Oh, it's already done. So I didn't have to pause. So what happened? Let me take a look at it. So it says the configuration is complete, and see over here what just happened. Now whole bunch of stuff just came up, and it says most of them they are success, or that some of them was like in progress, and now it says that they're successful. So this is a really nice tool that I like to use to see what is going on. And over here it also says it's configuration complete. You can log to the Azure or Office 365 portal to verify these are accounts from your local directory have been created. So just exit this, and let's just verify that I should still be logged in using my sync to the bus for security consulting. So let's just uh, go and find the Active Directory again. Active Directory, and in this one, let's click on the users. And initially there were only 2 users. Now we should be able to see more. And as we suspected, so we have the test user, the sync local, the sync admin, and if you look at it, directory synced, it says yes. So those are the accounts that we have on-prem, and it just got synced back to the Azure AD. And these accounts, even this account is on-prem, and if it's no, so those accounts are available or created in the Azure AD. So we know that our user syncing is working just fine. The other thing I want to do, look at our groups, and let's see if I have that test group available, and look at that. So the test security group that we created is now also available in my Active Directory on Azure. So that was all that I wanted to cover. So at this time, you can start playing with with your on-prem Active Directory, maybe create some new parameters to your users, add some new users, and see if they're syncing up properly, make some changes using the Azure AD, and change some of the parameters here, and see if the changes they are reflected properly back on your on-prem Active Directory or not. And just be very familiar with this whole thing. So hope this lab was useful and you are able to set up your own lab to do this work. If you're preparing for the exam, good luck. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave your comments so that I can make better videos next time. Okay, so that's all for the video. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.